Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Ew, it's right there already. Okay. All right. I guess we are just gonna head straight into business. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is a sweet spot made just for you. So there's something sweet happening. Okay. You guys, I'm saying, guys, does my energy not feel jovial? Do I not feel jovial to you today? Happy. Um, in a space of peace, space of balance, happiness. You know what it is? Oh my God. Do you guys want to know? You guys want to know what happened? I totally was like a grumpy ass for a while, right? And now I'm just not so grumpy. I just feel so jolly. Do you know why? Because I increased my protein. I felt like I was starving despite eating. I just don't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like how I was feeling. And I just, I half the time I can't be bothered to eat too much. Just, yeah, it's like yuck. I mean, I eat. Don't get me wrong. I eat and I can eat large quantities. But I've just been like so focused on so much work stuff that I hadn't really been enjoying eating. It was kind of just like, God, I gotta eat. Right. And then I found some supplements that I could use. And now I'm feeling happy, very energized. All right, we're almost ready, guys. Do, 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 do. Da, 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 da. Okay, we have the cards that we're gonna. I don't want to use. Okay, I'll use this deck. Fine. I was gonna say I don't want to use this deck, and then Michael says you already pulled the cards. That sound like a setup. That feel like a setup. It's okay. Even that is okay. Even that's okay. All right, guys. Oh, I can already feel something is just so irritated that I'm happy. I don't care. That's not my problem. You're upset that I'm happy. Okay, well, change the channel. Okay, let's get started. A sweet spot made just for you, right? This is something that maybe it's what you've been waiting for. Maybe it is maybe it's something that has made you feel like you are in deficit for so long now. You've been feeling like you're in deficit, like you're missing out. You don't have um, all of these different things that you might have been feeling, and those feelings causing you to exist in a more negative frame of mind, maybe. And so now a sweet spot is being made just for you. Um, 1 second. Ow! It's delivered. Okay. Here goes. And you're probably like, oh my God, what got delivered? Okay. Here goes. Responsibility in reverse. Whatever it is that you've been blaming for, that was not your responsibility. You heard what I said? Whatever it is you keep blaming yourself for, whatever it is you keep trying to own, whatever like messed up type of situation you're trying to take ownership of, like it's your fault somehow. It's not. It's not. And this Wanting to take responsibility for something that's not yours, not your decision, not your fault. Maybe whatever it is you're going through um, was because of someone else's actions, someone else's decisions, and it made you feel like you had no other option but to decide or act upon something in the way that you did. Um, but you can't take ownership of someone else's choices. You can't take ownership of the way someone else kind of forced your hand into whatever decision that you're making. Be very, very careful though, because this is a general reading. So you need to use elevated degrees of discernment to make sure that what I am reading right now actually applies to you. Okay. So that's kind of just a little disclaimer right there. So autumn has felt very upside down for quite a few of you. There may be some projects, situations, um, things like that that really haven't panned out in the way that you wanted. Uh-huh. Oh, I'm seeing this. Mhm. Mhm. Let me see. Let me see. Mhm. Okay. 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 I see how this is playing out. You've been wanting and needing someone to hold your hand. You've been wanting and needing to be validated, to feel as though someone is on your side, that you are seen, heard, like just the most intense, most deepest form of genuine validation. Maybe life has just gotten very monotonous for you, which I get it. I do. I get it. Sometimes life gets monotonous. And in that monotony, um, for some of you, you're feeling like creation has kind of just forsaken you, that your most basic needs are not being addressed in a satisfactory way. Hold up. Hold up. This is something we need to begin really assessing. Where does this come from? Where does this thought, this feeling come from? It comes from something that happened during summertime, and it's probably a disappointment, something that disappointed you tremendously during the summer, or maybe even tail end of summer, early autumn, right? It greatly disappointed you. It was something that maybe you had very high hopes for, and it didn't pan out. And because it didn't pan out in the way that you were kind of hoping, um, you then went ahead and you contained all of your energy. You kind of shut yourself down. You got to be careful about doing this, because when you do that, the energy continues to accrue. It continues to pile up. Okay. And if, okay, I just got to set some boundaries right now. To all the energetic things of creation, my space is not a party central. Yo, I'm getting real sick and tired of people's mamas coming into my workspace and thinking we could be BFFs. I'm just saying, okay? I'm not trying to be rude to anyone's mothers who have transitioned. I only got space for two right now. Whoever this third person is, baby boo, you're going to need to exit. You're going to need to talk to Lucille and Marlene and see who wants to let you sit in their seat. I only got two seats, and you can't be talking to me while I'm live streaming. I'm just saying, we're not starting this. We are not turning this into no Asian girl on YouTube rendition of that movie Ghost. I don't think so. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. There's not enough protein in this world to make me not feel like I can't lash out on you. So, getting back on track. I know. Lucille and Marlene are like, They got their own little club. Mhm. Okay. Anyways, don't try and contain yourself. Um, I think for many who are experiencing something right now, what ended up happening was you got disappointed. And because of the disappointment, it kind of made you pull back into yourself. That pulling back, that containment, um, that occurred, it caused you to be a little bit upside down. Now, with you being upside down in your perception of things, in your perception of your desires, wish fulfillment, lack of fulfillment, or whatever it is that you're going through, um, I'm hearing there will be attempts to try and access you. For someone like me, that type of statement is not a good one. Anything that attempts to access you, that means it is usurping your power, your authority over yourself, your life, your space, and is trying to access you without your knowledge, without your consent, without first being invited in. I'm very particular about those types of things. Do not try and access me without being invited in. I'm very particular about that. When it comes to the world of energy, hmm, hmm, there's just some weird something going on. I can't quite put my finger on it yet. Mm, mhm. So I'm over here kind of just like in my space of peace and just chillaxing. Um, and I was like, I don't really want to be scanning things right now. I kind of just want to do this reading, stay in my good mood, carry on with my day, do my work stuff. That was the mindset that I entered into as I began this portion of the reading. I will say, Michael has his sword on fire. hmm Michael has his sword on fire, and if you guys don't know um, what that indicates, that typically means he's pissed. That's what that means. Well, why would Michael be mad? He takes his assignment seriously. So something is affecting the success rate, the efficacy of his assignment. And what is his assignment right now? To block all access to me. To block all access to me. Um, Curious to see how this plays out. Very, very curious to see how this plays out. And you have my full permission, baby boo boo. He says, "May I proceed?" Absolutely. Go right ahead. I'm going to proceed with the reading. For those of you who are sensitive to energy, if you start to feel like a clicking, like that around you, don't worry. He's just getting ready to kick arse, to kick booty and clear the space. Let him do what he's doing. Mm, all right. So it caused you to be kind of upside down, right? Kind of just like in this upside down space. Um, And sometimes, if you're in that upside down space, what you think you want is not what you actually want or need. What you think is healthy for you is not actually what is healthy for you. There's a lot of confusion being run. There's a lot of attempts to access, a lot of attempts to this and that. And these are things that are just really um, as of the past maybe 6 to 12 months, maybe even all the way out to 18 months, for the past 18 months or so, there's just been a massive uptake in the foolery of the world, in the foolery of other people. We have all of these different energetic things that have occurred, a lot of parasitic behaviors popping up, a lot of empaths are being greatly affected by the activation of organic portal programs. Um, those who are organic portals, not necessarily intentionally wicked people, but when their programs are turned on, that means they're basically like an Uber car, Uber or Lyft being turned on. They're now active duty, they're in service, meaning they can be entered into and utilized as a vehicle of access to you, um, by parasitic things. So this, I mean, it's just it continues to increase. The prevalence is increasing, and that just kind of is what it is. I think right now what you need to focus on is listening to your intuition. You're not imagining the things you're experiencing, and simply acknowledging what it is that's happening. You can stop fractionating your focus, because right now there's going to be an intensification. Tomorrow is the eclipse time, and that's exactly 2 weeks before the 1111 portal. Now, 2 weeks before the 1111 portal, that portal begins to dilate. It begins to prairie dog, right? I'm going to be going live tomorrow for a very intense lunar eclipse dragon tea party. And with that, it's to harness this intensification that's occurring. Everything that's set for this particular tea party, if you want to see what I have available, you just click on the QR code or the link in the comments. But everything that I have available is really to kind of push you forward in the efforts that you're trying to bring to fruition. Let your spiritual team handle business while you focus on what needs to be focused on. For many of us, a lot of what's happening is this massive attempt to try and derail your focus, derail your progress using upside down, um, intentionally malignant, magical things, um, dark energy, dark intentions, black magic type stuff. Don't let that in. Don't let that in. You're in the process of creating a sweet spot. You are in the process of getting things done. This is it's almost like you're reaching a nexus point where your reality can branch off from the trajectory you're currently on. If you are unhappy with the way things are going and have been unhappy for the past 6 to 18 months, that's a long time. 6 to 18 months, you've been very, very unhappy with how everything is going or not going in your favor. Now's the time for you to really focus. Now is the time for you to really, really, really allow the goodness to be created. The groundwork is being laid, the sweet spot is being seeded. You need to exercise boundaries. Not everyone should have access to you. Not everyone should be allowed to um, state their opinions to you that are unsolicited. Unsolicited opinions are just something else. I try my best to be as mindful as possible, especially the past maybe 2 months or so, to be as mindful as possible of what I share in regards to my opinions in private conversations. And a lot of that has to do with my awareness that something is very much trying to get me upside down in my foundation, the way I see myself, the way I um, kind of carry myself within my personal life. So you guys have to be aware of these processes that are happening, these processes that are taking place. There are things, details being hidden from you. whatever those details are, they can serve one of two purposes. First and foremost, if your soul is the one hiding these details from you, it's probably because you have a tendency to be combative with your own process. You have maybe a tendency to sabotage your own progression. And so your soul is hiding those details from you simply because it doesn't want you to interfere with what it's creating for you. Okay. The second possible meaning for the concealment card, you're dealing with someone shady. And that's just that. You're dealing with someone super duper shady, and they're trying to keep certain details hidden from you. And as those details um, are further anchored into your existence without your knowledge, it becomes harder and harder for you to negate and avoid the inevitability of those things playing out. And if that's the case, this second meaning, you need to nip that in the bud real quick. You cannot allow that to blossom. You cannot. Because that's like a highly invasive weed being allowed to flower, and those flowers being allowed to fully blossom to the degree that now it's ready to release all of these seeds in your garden of life. You cannot allow that to happen. You cannot allow that to happen, because then that becomes something that will waste so much of your time and energy trying to mitigate. If you address it before the seeds are released wildly across your garden, it's minimal upkeep. If you allow it to really take root, for me, this is a good thing because I had a specific plant that really asked and communicated its desire to protect me, to provide protection and safety and success and all of these different things in my attempt to rebalance my life, my personal life. And with that particular plant is actually considered a highly invasive species, right? And so it was this thing of, as I was doing research, because I needed to make sure that it was not poisonous to me before I start handling it. Um, with that, I read quite a bit on it, and apparently the rhizomes, the roots, um, that can stay dormant in soil for something like 30 years. The seeds, once released, that can be viable for something like 30 years. 30 years. This plant can just stay in the soil and not allow its presence to be known. I love plants. I love plants. I just do. They make me so happy. I love them. But that's the thing. If it's not going to be in your favor, you don't want to allow that. You don't want to give that the time to get to that point where it's set itself up to be nearly impossible to get rid of. This sweet spot that's being made just for you. You have to make sure you are fully present as it is created for you. You want to be aware of all of the details, be the one selecting the details, the one choosing all the different options that you have presented to you. I mean, could you imagine you're buying a brand new custom made home, right? And as you go ahead and buy this home, it's custom made. You just going to let someone else put in whatever the heck they want? Or do you want to have these options presented to you and you have the final say? Like, I prefer travertine over, simulated stone. Travertine is gorgeous, by the way. I love travertine. It just has enough color that the home does not look sterile, but not too much that it's no longer in a space of like neutral palette. Mm. And it's durable too. Very, very durable. Anyways, once upon a time, like many, 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 many years ago, I totally was gonna go ahead and do interior architecture and design. That's like crack to me. I love it. I love it. It is. It's amazing. All right. So balance spirituality and practicality. Now, what you need to do is more than just praying on something, meditating on something good to happen, meditating or praying or merely setting the intention that you don't want something negative to happen. No, there needs to be a practical approach. Okay, for example, if there is someone who is very malignant and they keep trying to access you, you're not just going to pray and hope that this person does not access you, that this person eventually leaves you alone. That's not a practical plan. Something needs to be done, right? So either that needs to be clearly communicated if you've already done that and they still refuse to listen. Then other things need to be done: legal action, blocking, banning, whatever it is that needs to be done needs to be done. You have to be balanced between the practical and the spiritual. Um, for those of you who are sensitive to energy, you might feel pressure change in your ears, like suddenly a fullness and then a release. You know? Okay. Here's the thing. As much as I appreciate, um, like deeply appreciate the way that Michael loves me and protects me, I've entered into a space within my life, within my perception of my life, that I like to be personally involved in the cultivation of my space. So, with that, um, I think there are things that need to understand the gravity of what happens if you don't listen to my babysitter as he's just trying to maintain my space. Um, you don't want me involved, because when I get involved, shit gets handled efficiently. If you would like to participate in the clearing that I'm about to do, and I'm going to be providing shields as well, go ahead and put hashtag please. Thank you, Shivan Renee. Hashtag please. Okay. Just go ahead and put hashtag please. This is going to be calibrated to this right here. All right. This right here, hashtag please. So it's going to be some shielding, some clearing, and I obviously need to flex a little bit today. I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to that. People really need to know. Mofos really need to feel it. Okay. We'll let you feel it. Let me just get a really good song. What's this sound like? I like it. Breathe very deep, very slow, allowing yourself to feel very comfortable in your space. to all the things that continue to try and access and derail you. I give you to the count of 2 to leave this space, or I will forcibly remove you. 1, 2. For those of you sensitive to energy, you might begin to feel a warmth and a gentle vibration. Take a deep breath in. Slow exhale out. Allow yourself to return back to a space of center. Allow yourself to feel an increase in awareness of how powerful you are within your life, within your space, without your permission, outright permission, or passive. Things are not allowed to disregard your sovereignty. Feel how potent your power is. Feel the warmth, that expanding awareness of your sacred fire. Something massive is shifting in the world right now. And those who are in a position that they perceive to be a position of control, a position of dominance, their traction is slipping. The way they thought this would play out, it is not playing out in that way. Not on a personal level, and not in a global scale either. Enough of us have become aware of what is right and what is no longer acceptable and has been unacceptable for so long. And as we gain in our awareness, what's happening is we are withdrawing our passive consent. The machine that has been harvesting your energy by way of intimidation, domination, manipulation. It's clogging up. It's drying up. It's clogging up. It's not able to do the things that it's been doing. Continue being civilly disobedient. I know. That's going to get this video flagged. I'm aware. Peaceful disobedience is the answer. Peaceful, respectful communication is the answer. The more we talk about what needs to be talked about openly, with no condemnation, no hate, merely expressing to any who want or need to hear that we are not in compliance. We are not consenting. We do not agree. This is not representative of me, myself, my people. These things will put up a fight. But when there's no access to you, there's nothing to fight. A ring of fire has been drawn, I am told to share. A ring of fire has been drawn. The gravity of that. Mm. Things want you to believe that you and your loved ones are not safe. It's in reverse, right? It's in reverse. You and your loved ones are safe, but in reverse, it means you're not safe. There's something happening. That's a lie. They need you to believe this. They need you. Whatever these things are, whether you're speaking on a global scale or a personal level, whatever these things are, they need you to believe that you are unsafe so you can be destabilized, that you are alone, unloved, unrecognized, so you will be destabilized. And as you become destabilized, you enter sometimes in a space of desperation, sometimes even depression too, if we're going to really be honest. A space of desperation to fulfill a need that's already being fulfilled by soul. It's just not happening in the time frame that you're wanting, or maybe it is happening in the time frame that you're wanting, but you're not recognizing the process for what it is and where it is. And because you're not seeing the progression in a tangible way, you're thinking a sweet spot is not being made for you. A sweet spot is being made for everyone else. And that is a lie. That's a lie. You'll look across social media and you'll see people talking about how there are those who are the chosen ones. You are a chosen one. We are the chosen ones. I am a chosen one. Boo. Baby cakes. Please hear me. I'm about to tell you something so profound. The chosen ones were chosen to serve all. The chosen ones, they're the setup and cleanup crew. They're setting the stage for the party that's coming. And then they have to stay after everyone has had their fill of the goodness. The chosen ones have to stay and clean up, put everything back in order. You see, when an edict was released out into creation by Creator itself, The instruction was for all of us to come home. The expansion of awareness and experimentation within that expansion is concluding. It does not matter what you believe. It does not matter what you practice. It does not matter whether or not you feel you are worthy. When creation wants its parts to come home, we are all coming home. Reunification is imminent. It is unstoppable. It is unfuckwithable. It is not something that can be contained any longer. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you will flow. The sooner you will no longer be in a space of desperation, a space of feeling so alone, as though you have personally been forsaken by Creator. Because what exactly did you do that was so bad that you would be forsaken? What do you think you did that was so bad? To like really think about it. What did you do that you think was so bad that you would be forsaken? I'm looking back over the course of multiple lifetimes and I'm like, I did some pretty fucked up stuff. I did. Looking at it from my perspective, man, those were ugly times. Yet I am not forsaken. Why? Because there is nothing you can do to distort the reality of perception that God has for you. Yeah. hmm So a lot of people don't know because I don't talk about it. I'm actually a highly developed psychic medium. I have a lot of deceased people that try and talk to me all the time. And I'm kind of just like, nope, nope. Earmuffs. Can't hear you. Nope. Can't see you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah. Mhm. One time while I was living in California, this one place that I moved to, um, and I was still in a space of trying to pretend like I'm normal. This place that I moved to, it was maybe a quarter of a mile, maybe less than a quarter of a mile away from a very old cemetery. When I say old, like some of the headstones were dated like in the 1800s. Right. So it wasn't a huge cemetery. It was, fairly small, but it was very old and very close to where I was living. And so one day there was this guy. I still remember his name. I caught him in my condo hiding behind the wall. He was like trying to peek at me. And I was like, what are you doing in my home? Right. And then that night, it was actually early morning at that point. He woke me up to introduce himself officially. He didn't want to be rude. He woke me up and he's like, "Hi, I'm Earl Martinez." And I was like, "Hello, Earl. Why are you waking me up?" He just smiled. That was that. And I pretended it was just a dream. And so the following night, he woke me up again. Actually, it was morning because the sun was starting to rise. He woke me up again. This time he wasn't alone. He had gone the quarter mile to the cemetery to let everyone know that I could hear and see them. And so I had a line extending from the side of my bed around the block of people waiting for me to talk to them and give their family members messages. I was like, nope, we are not doing this. Y'all need to get the F out of my condo. We are not doing this. I'm not playing with any of you. Nope, I'm not. Nope. How dare you, Mr. Martinez? How dare you? How freaking dare you? You're so rude. Why you tell everybody where I live? How dare you? I was so upset. I have many, 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 many things that try and talk to me throughout the day, and I'm just like, nope. Book a session. We're not playing this game. We're not playing this game. Mm-mm. So to say I'm a psychic medium, that's an understatement. As someone who's a psychic medium, um, yeah, quite a few people who we think should be condemned, at the very least, to a space of like, what the heck is it called? Purgatory, or even flat out hell. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's just not. That's not how it works. You are not punished for hurting so badly that you decided to exit out. That's not how it works. You do ugly things in this life. Sometimes it's to help you learn something. It's not to excuse the ugliness. You still have to face what you did. And no, you're not going to be judged. You're going to see how you made everyone else feel. You're going to feel that in first person perspective. You are going to occupy the body in the moment that you did what you did. And you will feel it all. All of their thoughts, the way you affected them, all of it. You will feel it all so that you could understand the power you hold in this life. You still think you did something so bad that you'd be forsaken? That's a lie. That's a flat out lie. It is a lie. The more deeply you believe that lie, the more you will struggle when you face the reality of the reality when you exit out of the body. You don't cease to exist. You do not cease to exist. Nope, you don't. You just transform in your form. You hold the same consciousness. There is nothing you could ever do, and this is not to excuse away the ugliness of people's actions, but there is nothing you could ever do to actually be forsaken. Nothing. And for people who want to get into this philosophical debate of, well, I mean, if there is a God, why does God allow blah, blah, blah? Well, how about I tell you this? You are an expression of God. Why did you allow it? Why did you not go beyond your limitations and disallow, prevent whatever heinous thing you're going to say that God allows? You are an expression of God. Why did you allow it? You give me that answer, you'll have the answer to your own question. We are all being called into a space of sitting with each other so we can get all the pieces of the entire puzzle. Every single person is important. Every single person has been hand selected, custom created by Creator itself. Nothing yet is set in stone. Whatever this is that you're trying to be convinced of, that's I phrased that wrong. Whatever this is that something is trying to convince you of, that you are not safe, that your loved ones are not safe, that is a lie, but it is not set in stone yet. If you choose to believe that and behave in accordance with alignment for that to occur, then yeah, you will create that circumstance. Doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you unaware. And now that you're developing awareness, you are more empowered to prevent that from happening, right? You got to start using your power. You have power over everything. The other day, my husband had to drop our vehicle off um, to get engine work, and he was going to go ahead and ride his bike back home, hella far, hella far. And he's like, "Oh, I'll just ride my bike." And I was like, "No, the hell you're not." And I'm never like that. Never like that. I'm always like, why don't you just, ask so and so to drop you off or take an Uber or wait until my session is done? I will drive you. Um, trying to give different suggestions for options and letting him decide for himself. He's a grown ass man. I don't tell him what to do. He's a grown ass man. But that day I was like, no, the hell you're not. And if you think you're going to ride your bike, we going to have a big problem. I'm going to give you a big problem. You're not riding your bike. And he's like, what the? I was like, someone's going to run you over. And he's like, okay, I'm not riding my bike. I was like, they're going to run you over on purpose. On purpose. So he didn't ride his bike. And, I don't know, but I think it was later that evening, maybe the next day, he found out why the main road had been closed. There was a fatal car crash. Okay. When you feel something off, listen to that. Even if you can't quantify why, even if it doesn't make sense, even if you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm being such a scaredy cat. Oh my God, I'm being so mean. No, listen to it. Listen to it. Listen to it. Okay. As we approach tomorrow, that is the start of the dilation process for the 1111 portal. On top of that, it's a lunar eclipse. Expect powerful change. You have to expect this powerful change. You need to begin um, deciding how you're going to utilize this change, what this change could potentially mean for you. What are the different things you want to happen over the next several weeks? Take time to breathe out. Before you solidify what it is you're going to try and do, how you're going to use this energy and opportunity, first exhale all of your doubt, all of your fear, all of this very, very questionable belief that you don't deserve, that nothing good is ever allowed to happen to you. That's nonsensical. Good things are absolutely allowed to happen to you. But when you continue to work in such a way that redirects the goodness that's supposed to happen for you out to someone else, you're interfering with your own process. You can't say nothing good ever happens to you. The more accurate thing is you never allow anything good to reach you. Bada bing, bada boom. Truth. How many of you are realizing now it's really you that's blocking all of this stuff, all of this goodness from arriving? A sweet spot is made just for you. Something amazing is trying to make its way to you. Let it, invite it, encourage it. Um, ooh, we're approaching a deadline to submit. That's the notification that I just got. Get essential help today, quick and easy. You need to submit before the deadline. Submit your details before the deadline so that you can be allotted what is rightfully for you. Confidence is your key to success, but you're not feeling confident. You're feeling very unsure. You're experiencing tremendous amounts of questionable thoughts and emotions. You need to have faith in your dreams. You need to have faith in yourself. This sweetness that's being set up, I don't think you want to miss out on this. I really don't think you want to miss out on this. Adjustments are required, but it's in reverse. No, everything is already properly calibrated. You have no idea the process you're entering into. So don't start making adjustments to it. Okay. You have no idea the process that you're entering into. Don't start making adjustments, turning knobs and adding more of this, less of that. You don't even know what's being created for you right now. You will know, though, if you sit back for a moment and allow yourself to observe from a neutral space. Your soul is about to show you all of the things that are coming. Be bold and make the first move. Ooh, what is the first move you need to do? I'm going to tell you. You need to hold your vision for what it is you are wanting created for you. Don't be so specific that it becomes an unrealistic task for soul, but be specific enough that soul has a very clear understanding of what it's needing to do to reassure you. You're not letting go, you're allowing your fear to interfere. You keep dulling your shine because I don't know, you might have offended someone who's basic live, laugh, love, pumpkin spice mofo got offended by your existence. Let them be offended. Baby boo, those people, they look for things to be offended about. Like you're all over here butthurt that your existence offends someone. They look for things to be offended about. Tell them to go drink some pumpkin spice. Rather than wasting your energy and your time on those type of people, and yes, I'm absolutely mirroring the pettiness. Tap into your strength. When you begin to recognize how strong you actually are, you begin to recognize how strong you actually are. This struggle to walk your truth is no longer going to be an issue. It's no longer going to be a struggle. You're going to find the balance in your life. You're not going to be afraid of your shadow. You see, here's the thing. You know what happens? You stand in your light and your light is so bright, it creates an even more pronounced shadow separation. You see the darkness in comparison to the extreme brightness, and that really freaks you out. No, it's to show you the gravity of what you can tap into on either side of the spectrum. It's not to scare you. It's not to convince you that, oh, you're pure darkness or you're pure light. It's not to give you an opportunity to reject one of those parts. It's to let you see just how profound you are. This sweet spot, go for it, baby boo. Go for it. Go for it. Worlds within worlds. All of this potentiality for those who are willing, for those who are going to allow, for those who recognize they do have a choice. It's going to be brought out and manifested in real life circumstance. You have dreams you want to bring to fruition, let it happen. This is the time to do it. Not even joking. Let it happen. This is the time to do it. But if you want to sit there and be like, you have no choices, this and that, this reading doesn't apply to me. Okay. I mean, you're not going to try and convince me? No. That would be a fool's errand to try and convince you of something you don't already believe. It's not my place to dominate you or convince you of anything that you don't believe applies to you. That's your job. I'm absolutely serious. Someone just got offended. Is she serious? I'm absolutely serious. Baby boo, you must be new to my channel. This is not where I try and convince you to agree with me and confirm that I'm right. No, this is where I just say whatever my intuition is telling me, and then I leave you to decide what applies for you, what doesn't, and what you'll do with it. But how will you help you? That's me helping you. See, you have to begin learning the difference between this expectation of help and how your definition of help is actually genuinely enablement. It's enabling your crippling nature. The way you cripple yourself, it empowers that. I'm not down for that. I'm just not down for that. No. You see, for those who want followers, those who want to amass a following and be at the top and be the guru, and I'm not like that. I want equals. I want you to wake up to the reality, the fact that you actually are an equal of mine. And no, I will not meet you where you're at. You will meet me where we both belong at the summit. That's how it works. I mean, I can't do it. Yes, the fuck you can. You see all the other people climbing beside us? Yes, the fuck you can. But, there's no buts. You're either going to do it or you're going to need to give yourself time to realize that all you needed was some time to accept that you will do it. That's how it works for me. New chapter. You're now needing to create a new storyline. The story you've told yourself is cute. It's been cute. Not even in a like dismissive, derogatory, condescending way. No, it's a cute story you've been telling yourself about these different things that might one day happen for you. It's almost like a maybe for some like a rom-com, for others it's like a fairy tale type story. It's cute. It's cute. It has these little like um glittery high points and then um some of that like lowness just to give additional emotional effect for the high points. But you're not here to be cute. That's like a childhood story that you're trying to bring to fruition. No, 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 no. That's not enough. That's not enough, right? It's like the difference between, asking someone who is in preschool, like, what do you want to do when you're bigger? And the preschooler is like, I want to have a husband and two children and a dog and own a house. And I want to be a doctor and astronaut and right. It's like those are all very real potentialities. It's cute. It's cute. Like you haven't yet experienced the totality of the world. Like you haven't expanded your awareness of so many nuanced things. Like when I was like in kindergarten, preschool, you asked me what I want to be. I want to be a doctor. And then you ask me in like high school time, what do you want to be? I want to be a plastic surgeon. You ask me after I've exited out of high school and some things have happened. And now I'm really like refining my perception of the world, the kind of impact I want to leave. I want to be a surgeon with a double specialty in cardiothoracic surgery as well as neurology. I also, in my spare time, would love to moonlight in the ER just to keep my senses very, very sharp. You compare that with the way things have progressed. Those things that I chose for myself when I was much younger were definitely things that were cute in comparison to my awareness now. You ask me now, what do I want to be? I'm already living it. I'm already living it. A pioneer of a form of energetic work rooted in ancient knowledge from aura spectra bioregenesis, specializing in the applied biospiritual theories of a system that is hybridized in such a way that it pulls from all of these other already existing medical mediums and making quantum leaps forward, marrying that with my knowledge of recalibration of standing scalar waves, getting down to the root causation of the pathology that exists in the physical form. I mean, even my desire in my young adulthood to be a cardiothoracic surgeon and neurologist, that's cute in comparison to my understanding of my actual purpose now. And that's only a fragment of my purpose. That's only a fragment. That's not even my entire identity. That's a specialized hobby of mine. Do you understand how many options are being presented to you? Do you understand how little you know about yourself still? That a life so sweet is being prepared for you right now. And all you have to do is agree to participate in the process. That's all. That is all. People think they know so much. Only thing that I know, and I mean this with my entirety, only thing that I know is that there are many, many more things that I don't know about. So I can't tell you how much I know in comparison to how much I do not know. And that I will continue to learn until my last breath. That when I am done learning in this life, that is the moment before I stop breathing. There are no limitations that apply to me. The only limitations that apply to you are the limitations you believe in. Those are the only limitations. That's it. Literally, those are the only limitations. Those are the only limitations, right? But you need to be patient with your process. Because right now, you're not in the process of becoming stronger. You're in the process of learning how strong you actually are and how much stronger you can become as you work on yourself, as you invest in yourself. That's all you have to do. It's actually that simple. It is actually that simple. All you have to do is allow yourself to open your mind, your thoughts to the reality that there is so much about what you can do that you don't know yet. If you asked me even just a few years ago, Emmy, do you think you could ever speak powerfully in front of strangers? Hell no. Hell no. I don't think I would even answer. I think in my head I'd be like, hell no. But out loud I'd be like, that's how I would answer. And boy, oh boy, would I be wrong and not even know, not even realize. You've been wrong about yourself so many times. It's time someone told you you've been wrong about yourself. I know. I'm trying not to laugh because I'm thinking about all the times I've been wrong about myself. This is ridiculous. How many times I've been wrong about myself, thinking that I knew myself, thinking that I knew my limitations, and I didn't. I had no idea. I had no idea. You want to hear something so powerful? I know to you guys it's going to be like not a big deal. For me, people perceive me much different than I perceive myself. That's the reality of it. I this is going to sound so freaking silly. I, for the first time in my life, bought a string bikini. No, I will not be showing anybody anything. I, for the first time in my life, bought a string bikini. And the reason I bought it was not to use it at the beach, but because now I'm actually entering into the seriousness of what I'm trying to do in the next 8 to 12 months with a body transformation. And in order for me to properly track the transformation of my body, because I need tangible proof for myself that my efforts are actually being properly applied to the physicality, right? So I went ahead and I documented my starting point. Although this is not my starting point, this is the point where I'm starting to really take everything seriously. And I took some pictures. And I was just like, oh my God, this is horrible. This is so bad. Yeah. Yes. Yes. But see, the thing about that very uncomfortable space, that very, very uncomfortable moment is actually so packed with tremendous amounts of power and a shifting, a clarification So, for those of you who don't know, I have varying degrees of body dysmorphia. I don't have an ED, but I do have a very dysmorphic view of my size. I don't know my size. I try to quantify it to get a better understanding of myself, not to think if I'm small or big or whatever, but to get a very clear understanding of how distorted my perception of my body is. And as I begin to understand how distorted my perception of my physical body is, then I can begin to quantify and hopefully begin to understand how distorted my perception of my personal power and divine purpose is. Nothing I do is about aesthetics anymore. It's just not. It's not about like, oh, I want to be skinny. I want to be. No, nothing I do is about aesthetics anymore. I'm just like, everything that I wear, any look that I have, my husband loves it. So I'm not seeking validation in any way for the aesthetics. Everything is about refining my perception of myself and my understanding, cultivating an even deeper, richer understanding of how distorted I see myself. So clarify that. So I feel like I'm pretty, like I'm hefty. This is such a funny word. I'm hefty. That's not a bad thing to me because I feel strong. This is the strongest I've felt my whole life, right? I can do exercises and movements I've never been able to do. So that's not a bad thing. I don't feel unattractive or no, none of that. But I know I'm like, I'm hefty compared to other sizes that I've been. And this morning, things were clicking in place for me because I wear a waist trainer to work out to protect my back. I have an existing back injury that I don't want to flare up. And I was thinking, I should probably get the next size down probably in the next maybe 2 weeks or so because I'm starting to drop some weight fairly quickly now that I've tipped the scales for my hormones. I'm like, I've rebalanced my hormones. And I was driving and I was like, whoa, I just don't understand myself. I don't see myself clearly. The next size down for a waist trainer, and y'all, that would be an extra small. How the hell am I hefty if I can fit in an extra small waist trainer? I know I can fit in it now. I know I can. Because the small that I'm wearing, it's the tightest setting. And it's not super snug on me. I know I can fit in extra small. And now my mind, as I'm driving, I'm going back to this space a few years ago where I was going through massive upheaval, massive ascension cycles, stepping into my power, like really stepping into my power, losing the need to feel apologetic for the fact that I exist, no longer being as willing to hide myself and my differences. And that whole process ate my body up. I was eating a good amount of food. I was not withholding food, but I was a size 0. And I looked so frail. I look frail. That was the last time that I could fit an extra small waist trainer. How do I feel hefty, strong? Like I could fight a motherfucker and win. I don't care if you're bigger. I could fight you and win. Yet still be able to fit that size that I haven't been able to fit since I was so frail. We have no idea how strong we are, how capable we are, the kind of strength that lives inside you. It has to be brought out. It has to. You have to intentionally cultivate that. How do you bring that out? Well, if I look at my process and use myself as an example, which is all I can do because that is all I know. I use myself as an example. It took destruction almost on a daily basis to bring that out, to experience the hypertrophy that I'm now experiencing. Talking to my coach, and earlier in the day, I was like, yeah, I'm going to beef up even more. I want to gain another maybe inch and a half on my arms. I want to really cap my shoulders. I want to be a little beefcake. I want to be a beast. and then I spoke to my coach and he gave me horrible news. He's like, yeah, you need to ease up off the weights. No more. You got to now switch to cardio. You got to start adding a little bit of cardio in there. And I'm like, well, I think I could do more. And he's like, you look like you're tapped out. You haven't grown much. You look like you're tapping out already. Your growth, it's tapping out. You're not eating enough. Because there's no way to eat enough for me. My body's inefficient like that. So he gave me the information I needed. And it was up to me to apply that, to create a return of the sweetness that is inherent in the process that I am in. There is a sweetness to this process. But holding hands with that sweetness is the pain, the discomfort, the potential injuries, the consistent experiencing, taking myself to the point of failure. This morning I went to the gym. It was chest day. Yeah, I was doing the bench press, right? It wasn't a lot of weight for what I can do, but it was definitely pushing it. And I could feel myself start to shake like, and I did it, brought it back down, and I was like, one more. And I very slowly and shakily did it. And then guess what happened? I was going to push myself again. I could feel the micro tears already occurring in my chest. I'm going to be fucking sore tonight. I was going to do it again because I'm so driven. I can drive myself beyond pain. And I sat there. Actually, I was laying with my arms fully extended. What are you doing? You don't have a spotter. You don't have a spotter. What are you doing? I sat there for a few seconds. You could do it. You could do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. In my head, do it. One more. Push one more. Push one more. What was I doing? What, trying to prove to my coach that I could bang out some more? That I can increase a couple inches? I probably could, but I'd also probably injure myself. That was ego. Because someone who knows, someone who produces champions told me that I was tapped out. I don't ever tap out. And that's when I realized if I'm going to do this, I need to listen to my coach. I need to listen to my coach. But just because he's not here, he's not in the gym with me, I need to listen. So I did. And I racked it. I was done. That's it. Move on to the next. And I kept looking back at that like, you could just do one more. Do one more. Do another set just to prove to No. I don't need to prove to myself that I can hurt myself to prove to someone else that they're wrong about the specialty they've been specialized in for more than half their life. You see, those are the ways in which we take the sweetness out of the process that we're in. That's how we do it. Because we don't have the understanding of the gravity we already carry inside of ourselves. We don't appreciate the process we've already been in and have been succeeding in. In that moment, I learned a little bit more about myself. That I can be driven in a healthy way. Because in that exercise, I'm done. I can't. Not without risking injury. You don't always have to wreck yourself to prove that you can handle your life. There's a difference between full-on tearing your muscle and the micro tears that are necessary for hypertrophy. There's a huge difference. And I see the shift within me that's happened because I'm finally listening to what I need. What is it that I need? To listen to my body. My coach was right. I was tapped out. I was just forcing myself. I've been forcing myself. Y'all want to see? It's 1:44. Y'all want to see? Hold on. Let me show you. Let me show you. Hold on. I don't want you to see this part. Let me show you though. Okay, look at this, okay? So, and I spoke to my coach this morning before the live, and he let a mofo know. Yeah. You see all the blue days? Those are the days that I've gone to the gym. Do you see that? Every day with a blue circle is a day that I've gone to the gym. My coach doesn't know that. He told me about 2 weeks ago I should be going only 5 days a week. I know it's 2 weeks ago because I was like, "Okay, I won't go today." And then after that, I didn't listen. All right? I didn't listen because I was like, "I could do it. I could do it. I could do it. I could do it. I'll back off if I feel I'm about to get injured. I could do it, though." I spoke to him today again. He does not know that I've continued to push myself. But he took one look at me the other day on FaceTime. He's like, "You're tapped out. Look at you." And I was like, "No, I think I could do a little, my legs could grow a little more." And he's like, "You're full of shit." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah. He told me today, right before the live stream, you need to ease up even more. And you don't be overdoing cardio either. Because by start of spring, you're going to be doing twice a day. And if you do too much cardio now, you won't be able to get enough deficit by spring. You see, my coach for this fitness journey, that's like your spiritual guide for your spiritual journey. It tells you. It doesn't explain everything, but it tells you. It tells you enough to give you the opportunity to decide whether you want to comply or not, right? And whether you're going to comply or not is completely up to you. But just know your spiritual guide, your intuition, your higher self, it knows how to get you to the next level. I was able to get myself to this point. I do not know how to get to the next level. I need someone who knows more than me. You have to admit to yourself when you no longer know what you're doing. Because in that moment of accepting that you no longer know what you're doing, you then open yourself to receive a nice gift from creation, from your soul, a person or a circumstance that can give you further awareness. And I think that's a sweet spot being made for you. Let's see. The sweet spot. These cards are all the same message as I've said earlier. That sweet spot, you're becoming aware of just how powerful you are, and it's scaring you. It's scaring you because of the fact that if you admit you're powerful and you've been in control this whole time, then maybe that means it's your fault that things haven't gone the way that you wanted to this whole time. Well, maybe there's no need for fault. Maybe what we need is a moment to realize everything has gone exactly as it's needed to go. Everything. Everything has needed to go exactly as it has gone. Because each thing that you think you failed through, barely passed, each thing that you felt was mediocre or didn't like, those were the stepping stones that got you to the next stone, the next milestone. You have been progressing this entire time. And the only reason you don't realize that you've been progressing is because you haven't been giving yourself the credit. You did this. You made this happen. You held on. You pushed through. You decided. No, Emmy, I gave up. Right. How can that be a positive? You gave up going the wrong direction. I mean, you could have kept going in the wrong direction for another 100 miles, at which point you would have had to backtrack 200 miles rather than making a U turn at the 100-mile point. Do you understand? It's a very powerful thing when you can begin seeing the ways in which giving up, failing, is evidence of your growth, evidence of your submission to your soul, and evidence that you will become aware of this sweet spot being made just for you very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. Go through your process. Release the beliefs and perceptions that no longer serve you. Invite and embrace the newly developing perceptions that help to give you more clarity about how powerful you are, about how capable you are. It's not enough to accept that you're powerful. To be powerful and not know how to use that power is to lack capability. To be powerful and capable, woo, that's unstoppable. That is unstoppable. Oh my gosh. You're entering into a space of being unstoppable. You're entering into a space of knowing yourself so well that even your fears and insecurities can't stop you anymore. So don't stop. Don't stop yourself. Don't shrink yourself. Don't convince yourself of anything outside of what you're feeling right now. You can feel the resonance. If this applies to you, you can feel the resonance inside you. If it doesn't apply to you, give yourself a moment. Give yourself a moment. The only reason it's hard to believe is because you haven't given yourself the opportunity to just sit and breathe. You've been nonstop go, go, go. Pause. Take a short break. Really allow yourself to see the way your life has unfolded and how distorted your perception is of yourself. In my eyes, I'm hefty. The reality of it, I'm a fluffy fit. I'm fit, but I'm fluffy. I'm not embarrassed either. I'm squishy, but also hard. It is what it is, and I love it. I love it. I'm in the process of getting to know myself again. I'm in the process of falling even deeper in love with the woman I'm allowing myself to become. Go through it. Let yourself see and feel the sweetness that's coming. It's on its way. It's on its way. Get yourself ready to receive that delivery. Guys, I gotta go. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. Just a quick reminder, I'm going to be doing personal readings, scans, powerful energy work tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you would like personal work done on you during that live stream, click on that QR code or the link in the comment, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Don't forget to give this video